I was going to adoration this evening, and our Lord said to me a simple phrase. He said, "If I do not build the house, then you labor in vain." And it was I was kind of reflecting on, what is he talking about? If I do not build the house, or if I do not build the temple, then you labor in vain. The construction of our spiritual life has to be founded on Christ. Christ has to be the builder. And we can build with him, or we can build something parallel to him, but that will fall over, will fall down. And I saw this up front and personal when I was a Legionary of Christ. We were building without Christ. And, I'm not here to say anything bad about the Legionaries of Christ. They're amazing men, but the founder built without Christ because he didn't have union with God. And the tower that was built fell. And what we see now in Ireland in our ecclesiastical programs and structures is we're doing a lot of building, but we're not building with Christ, because the finality of the faith, the finality of the church, is to have union with God. And if we discard that theology, that fundamental point, then we will lead souls so far, but not to Christ. And it is really important at this moment in the church, especially in Ireland, that we understand this pivotal idea. We all have our parts to play in building the house. Laity, clergy, religious, and so forth. But we have distinctive roles. And the role of the priesthood is one thing, and the role of a religious or a laity is another thing. And unless we understand these roles and what they're there for, we will fall over. And at the moment, in this moment in time in the Irish Church, we are really at a pivotal crossroads in failing to understand what is our respective roles. You will have plenty of vocations in abundance if you open the doors to allow Christ build, and so that you can cooperate with his grace. What I was getting in prayer, in adoration, was the whole work of union with God is a cooperation. It's building together. It's our will united to God's will, building together. And if we separate that, we go off doing our tangent and leaving our Lord to one side, it'll fail. And I really encourage people to reflect on this concept of union with God. Theosis, deification, personal relationship with Christ, which isn't something sentimental. It's a radical, actual change in the way we live, think. Christ wants us to act, live like him, be like him. And Christ gave different missions to different people. He formed his apostles with specific mission. He formed his other disciples, the women disciples, with specific missions. He didn't say, now, you're all doing the same thing. He gave specific callings, specific missions to different people. And we fail to understand that he asked that this be continued on in the church. But I suppose at the core of this, reflecting on it, is the living God. If we cannot bring souls to that union with God, to that encounter with God, how do we expect people to say, I want to give my life to this? I want to know God more. I want to spend my time entering deeper into this mystery and to help others to do it. We radically need leadership in the church. And as I said, I reflect on the fact, as I said in my other video, Father Marius putting out a call, one priest putting out a call can bring 10,000 people on a Saturday in June. If every priest had that Marian the Marian zeal, because Mary always leads people to her Son, always. You can't separate the Marian aspect in the priesthood. But if every priest in Ireland had that zeal that you have with one priest, what could Ireland be? Think about it. Are we not capable of having that zeal? I mean, and so that's the encouragement, I want to give. Look at the Dominicans, and I've said this so many times. Why do the Dominicans have vocations consistently every single year? They form minds so our hearts can know what to love. We need people forming minds in Ireland. Feeding this so that our heart can start to love. This is what our Lord did. Our Lord was the first Dominican, first preacher, the first master as such. He was the master par excellence, the master. And he formed minds. He fed minds so that hearts could love him more and understand God more. This is our mission. And again, this is what our Lord said to me this evening. He said, if exactly the words were, those who try to build temples labor in vain if they try to build them without me. To this effect, this analogy of building something for Christ, but without Christ. If I am not the builder, you labor in vain. If I'm not the builder, you labor in vain. So let Christ be. Labor with Christ, not alongside Christ, not in parallel to Christ, saying, Christ, you want to do this, but I want to do this. In the writings of Maria Valtorta, that Italian mystic, you often see the apostles, his closest confidants, saying, but, pushing back at our Lord when our Lord wanted to do something. Our Lord would say, I want to go here, I want to do this. Say, no, you can't go there because they're going to come at you. You're going to be in danger. You're going to be this, or that. They were always with this human side, right? Which is natural for us. But we have to see things from Christ's side. We have to see, how does he look at this situation? And at the end of the day, Christ's way was the only way. You cannot construct a spiritual life without the cross. And they were running away from the cross. They abandoned Christ on the cross. It was only a teenager and 3 women that were left at the cross. Lazarus' sister, the mother of James and Jude, our Blessed Mother, the brother of James and the son of Zebedee, the people that were left at the cross because they saw things very differently. The Apostle John, the mystic, innocent in many ways, the mystic, saw things in a very different light. And we need to meditate on what they saw. Anyway, God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.